All right, here we are for round 2, or rather round 1 of my my next 8-player event. I actually just noticed as I was setting this up that I'm pretty sure that I like recorded the last one sort of askew because for whatever reason Magic Online just opens windows randomly around where your old windows were. And you know, I have the recording field at a certain point in my screen, and it just, you know, spews off into the distance. So I apologize if that last video is not quite perfectly aligned. But anyway, so I won the die roll. We're gonna go ahead and play first. This is a good hand. We're on the play with Mana Creature into Polukranos, so we're certainly gonna keep. We don't really have any interaction, but we have threats, which is more important. All right, and our opponent has just a basic forest, which is really the exact thing that you want to see when you're about to play a mana accelerator into some sort of giant monster, because basic forest is not particularly good at dealing with those. A second basic forest. Well, this game may be over already, so we're just going to play Wooded Foothills. We're going to sack it. We're going to go get our own forest and play George Polukranos. So now, if our opponent is in rough spot, actually casting much of anything into that, our opponent kept his hand, his or her hand. So I'm not really sure, but I don't really know what's going on over there because, okay, Forest, Caves of Koilos. All right, and that's a Courser of Kruphix. So our opponent is apparently Abzan, which, you know, I suppose is a, you know, maybe this is a reasonable draw. So I'm going to go ahead and attack with Polukranos. Forest in the first couple turns, though. And just going to hit you for 5 and play Ash Cloud Phoenix. And say go. Drawing Caryatid with a Mystic on top. All right. Another Courser. Alright, so we have double caves now. So I can, if I attack with everything, for 9, I guess I could just attack with these, hit for 9, and then I can, if I Boon Satyr, that's 13, do my opponent at 4. I could attack with everything and Boon Satyr my Rattleclaw, that is likely to deal 9 damage, and leave my opponent. I guess I could even just Monstrous Polukranos there too. The question is basically, is it worth attacking with Rattleclaw? I think it probably is. Though I could also just attack with these. My opponent can like chump here. So I think if I just attack with these, if he chumps and I Boon Satyr here, then he goes to 9, and I still have an Ash Cloud with Boon Satyr and a Crater's Claw in my hand. All right, let's just do this. Let's not. No, we're gonna do this. Courser of Kruphix can represent a lot of life, and I can also potentially even just, you know, could just like. It's not like I'm necessarily representing Boon Satyr. Could be representing just Monster Sync Polukranos. So it's not clear that I'm just, you know, getting, if he just blocks here, that I'm not just, wait, declare blocker step. Okay. Kill you. He didn't block at all. Alright, well, this game is basically over anyway, but now it is, my opponent is exceptionally dead. Alright, so sideboard-wise, against Abzan, which it looks like my opponent is, I don't want Lightning Strikes, they're fairly weak. On the draw, Temur Charm gets substantially worse. Disdainful Stroke is fantastic. I do like Stubborn Denial. We're not really sure what my opponent has going on over there, but Stubborn Denial I think is generally better than Temur Charm, and Disdainful Stroke also better than Temur Charm. So I want to take out my Temur Charms, and I think that Stormbreath Dragon is fairly great against Abzan, and Sarkhan is okay. The problem with Sarkhan against Abzan is they have like Siege Rhino and such, which are actually able to threaten the ground pretty well. So I'm going to go ahead and cut one of those, and then maybe one Boon Satyr. We didn't actually show our opponent Boon Satyr, but I think that the flyers are very good. Like Ashclad Phoenix and Stormbreath Dragon are both excellent here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a Boon Satyr. So we're basically now just sort of counter flyer, and we'll give this a shot. All right, this is a very good hand. We're a little shy on colored mana, but we have Elf into Air with Stubborn Denial as well. Now we have something to actually ramp into. Thoughtseize. All right. Well, that makes my Stubborn Denial look less good because you can just take it. Probably not going to take it though. All right, we took George Polychronopoulos. We're going to play Heir of the Wilds and attack. Right now there's no real spell I'm afraid of my opponent casting, so I'm just going to go ahead and play that. If I was afraid of, my opponent like playing, I don't know, Underworld Connections, I could potentially not attack for one and leave that up. So I don't think I want to actually cast this Heir of the Wilds. I want to just because I don't want to walk into Bile Blight. So I'm going to go ahead and morph this Ashclad Phoenix. That's something I talked about a little bit in my previous video, not in this video yet. And in my articles is you get the flexibility of being able to morph Phoenix compared to, say, if this was like another Stormbreath Dragon. It's like that would just be sitting in my hand, and instead I'm able to actually morph this Phoenix, which gives me a use of my mana, which otherwise could be kind of awkward. And Bile Blight, yeah, kills my Phoenix, and we did not get our heirs Bile Blighted, which is nice. So we're still in need of red mana. We are unfortunately in a position where we could get kind of shut down by a Rhino here. Sylvan Caryatid. Well, you don't shut down Heir of the Wild. All right. Well, there's some red mana. All right. Well, if he has another Bile Blight, he can kill both of them during his next turn, which I'm fine with. If he untaps, has a second Bile Blight, and uses it in these, because that gives me the option to potentially draw a land to cast Storm Breath. And if he doesn't have it, then all the better. We're also protecting ourselves from something like a Elspeth here. End hostilities. I wasn't expecting that. Okay. Well, that kills my guys, which is unfortunate. I'd rather they weren't dead. And there's another Stubborn Denial, which is not really the card that we're looking for. We're looking for something that does something. I really like to draw Boon Satyr. Bivouac is pretty good. It's enabling us to potentially cast Stormbreath soon. I could cast Stormbreath right now, but I do have two Stubborn Denials in my hand, and he has two cards in hand, so I'm actually going to wait. I'm actually going to hold on and wait until I can protect my Stormbreath Dragon, because I don't really have any other threats right now. Courser, that's fine. It's Bile Blight, okay? Like any land, any untapped land lets me cast Stormbreath here, and I'm not under any kind of pressure. And there's, okay, Polukranos is also great. So now Polukranos enables a Stubborn Denial. He only has one card in hand, and he's drawing a Bile Blight. So this is actually pretty perfect. We know that he can't actually deal with my Polukranos, and we're able to Stubborn Denial, if he does draw something that matters. Okay, he's going to draw Thoughtseize, so that actually changes how I potentially want to play things. So knowing that he's drawing Thoughtseize, I'm going to go ahead and cast this Stormbreath Dragon. I'm not going to attack with Polukranos here. Well, maybe I do attack with Polukranos. Maybe I attack with Polukranos first. Yeah, because Plukernos actually does more damage than Storm Breath. No, that was wrong. I should have cast Storm Breath because I don't want to use Stubborn Denial on Bioblight. That's probably a mistake. Yeah, that was a mistake. I should have just cast Storm Breath Dragon. Or I can actually just play Elvish Mystic. Well, he knows I have Stubborn Denial, so he certainly shouldn't block first. He should cast Bioblight first. All right. Well, he is not making a play that makes sense here. So, all right, we will Stubborn Denial that. All right. Well, we get to kill his Courser for free. It looks like. Maybe he's casting like another removal spell here. All right. Well, okay. That's fine then. And he's going to be able to Thoughtseize my dragon. But he's in a really bad spot now. Because now he's going to Thoughtseize my dragon, have no cards in hand, and I have Polukranos, and I think I even kill him with Crater's Claws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, he's actually dead. Well, not necessarily. He could Thoughtseize, take Crater's Claws, and then... well, okay, you're literally dead now. Red one, we'll do all of it, because why not? Alright, so, and we see Stubborn Denial was super powerful this game. You know, we had actually a pretty awkward draw, but we were able to use Stubborn Denial to exchange with, you know, multiple key cards of our opponent, and, you know, if that Stubborn Denial was just like a random, you know, random creature, random removal spell, whatever, you know, our opponent could have potentially like ended up killing our major threats and sort of attritioning us out. In that game, we stalled on land and got end hostilities. Granted, our opponent kind of flooded as well, but you know, the Stubborn Denials protecting our key creatures were super powerful there and enabled us to just sort of battle through our opponent's removal, despite the fact that he had quite a bit of it, and we didn't get off to the best start. So anyway, let's move on to the next round. By the way, I do want to point out, Starbreath Dragon wasn't great there. The fact that Starbreath Dragon costs 5 mana there, compared to Ash Cloud Phoenix, was actually like a liability because I couldn't cast it and hold up Stubborn Denial. So I'm more and more, and this is precisely the reason that I'm less impressed by Starbreath Dragon, and particularly as a sideboard card when you're bringing in Stubborn Denial, having the cheaper creature. Definitely goes a long way toward enabling the sideboard card, which is really powerful. And I think that might sort of tip it over the edge. And I think that it's possible that Starbreath Dragon just isn't worth it because you want to be able to use your mana in that way. So anyway, let's go on to the next match.